The rain hit the airport runway like a quiet warning. Inside the private hangar, tension filled the air. A luxury jet stood ready, engines humming low, waiting for a pilot. But there was no pilot. And time was running out. A young CEO paced back and forth, her heels clicking sharply on the polished floor. "Where is he?" she snapped, glancing at her watch. Her assistant whispered nervously, "Ma'am, the pilot isn't coming." Silence. Then anger. "What do you mean he's not coming? I have a $50 million deal waiting across the country." That's when a quiet voice spoke from behind. "I can fly it." They all turned. It was just the janitor. Ethan Cole kept his head down every day. At 38, he wore faded clothes, carried a mop, and cleaned floors that people didn't even notice. He worked late nights at the private airport. No one talked to him much. No one cared. To them, he was invisible. But Ethan didn't mind. Because people who don't see you, don't ask questions. And Ethan had a past full of answers no one was ready to hear. He lived in a small rented room on the edge of the city. No luxury. No comfort. Just a bed, a table, and a photo. A photo of a little girl. His daughter, Lily. She was the only reason he kept going. "Daddy, when are you coming to visit?" Her voice echoed in his memory. He closed his eyes. Soon, princess, very soon. But, soon, had been 3 years now. 3 years since everything fell apart. 3 years since he lost everything. Ava Sinclair didn't believe in second chances. At just 32, she had built a billion-dollar aviation company from scratch. Sharp, smart, ruthless. She trusted no one, especially not men who claimed to be something they weren't. Her father had done that once. And it destroyed her family. So Ava built walls. Tall ones, cold ones, unbreakable ones. That morning, she had one mission: close the biggest deal of her life. A deal that would take her company global. But now, her pilot was missing, her patience was gone, and time was slipping. "I can fly it." Ethan's voice was calm, too calm. Ava stared at him, disbelief turning into anger. "You," she laughed. "You're a janitor." He nodded slightly. "I used to be more." Her assistant whispered, "Ma'am, we don't have options." Ava crossed her arms. "You expect me to trust a man holding a mop with my jet?" Ethan met her eyes. For the first time. And something in his gaze didn't match his appearance. "I understand your doubt," he said quietly. "But I won't let you down." She scoffed. "This is ridiculous." But then she looked at the clock. And made a decision. "Fine," she said coldly. "But if anything goes wrong, you're finished." Ethan nodded. "I won't fail." The jet took off smoothly. Too smoothly. Ava sat stiffly, watching every move. Her eyes narrowed. This doesn't make sense. Ethan handled the controls like someone who had done it 1,000 times. Because he had. Mid-flight, turbulence hit. Hard. The plane shook violently. Her assistant panicked. "Ma'am." But Ethan stayed calm. "Everyone stay seated." His voice was firm, confident, different. Ava watched him. Her heartbeat slowed. Because for the first time, she felt safe. Minutes later, the skies cleared. The plane stabilized. And silence filled the cabin. "You handled that well," she admitted quietly. Ethan didn't turn. "Just doing my job." But she knew. This wasn't just a job. After landing, Ava didn't leave. She stood there, watching him. "You're not just a janitor," she said. Ethan paused. Then sighed. "No, I'm not." "Then who are you?" He hesitated. "Because once the truth comes out, nothing stays the same." "I was a pilot," he said. Ava crossed her arms. I flew for the military, then for private aviation." "Then what happened?" Silence. Pain flickered in his eyes. "I lost everything. 3 years ago." Ethan was one of the best pilots in the country. Respected, trusted, loved. Until one flight changed everything. A malfunction. A crash landing. No deaths. But someone powerful blamed him. And just like that, his career ended. His reputation destroyed. No one listened. No one cared. Except his daughter. But even she was taken away. Because he couldn't provide any more. Ava listened quietly. Something inside her shifted. "You didn't fight back." "I tried," Ethan said. "But money speaks louder than truth." She looked away. Because she understood that. Better than anyone. "Why are you still here?" she asked softly. Ethan smiled faintly. "Because giving up would mean losing her forever." That night, Ava couldn't sleep. His words echoed in her mind. For the first time in years. Her walls cracked. Days passed. Ava did something unexpected. She called him. "I need a pilot," she said. Ethan was silent. "You're offering me a job. I'm offering you a chance." He closed his eyes. "Why?" She paused. "Because I believe you." And those 4 words meant everything. Working together changed everything. They argued. They laughed. They shared silence. And somewhere between flights, they found something unexpected. Connection. "You're different," Ava said one evening. "So are you," Ethan replied. She smiled. A rare, real smile. But truth always finds its way out. One day, Ava discovered something. A hidden file. A name. The man who ruined Ethan's life was connected to her company. Worse, it was her own mentor. The man who helped her build everything. Her world shattered. "You knew?" Ethan asked quietly. Ava shook her head. "I swear, I didn't." He stepped back. "Everything I lost traces back to your world." Tears filled her eyes. "Then let me fix it." Ava exposed the truth. Risked her company. Her reputation. Everything. The truth came out. Ethan was innocent. His name was cleared. 3 weeks later. A small park. A little girl ran toward him. "Daddy." Ethan dropped to his knees. Tears fell freely. "I'm here, princess." And for the first time in years, he felt whole. Ava stood nearby. Watching. Smiling through tears. "You didn't have to do all this," Ethan said. "Yes," she whispered. "I did. Because love isn't about perfection. It's about choosing someone, even when it's hard." Sometimes, the world sees only what's on the surface. But real worth lives deeper. Never judge someone by where they stand today. Because their story might be greater than you can imagine. And sometimes, the person you overlook is the one who changes your life forever. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like heart. Comment your favorite moment crying. Subscribe for more emotional stories sparkles. Your support means everything.